Peace, y'all. This is Star with the Star Blues. I just wanted to share a message. I was actually in meditation and I was wanting to know, okay, like what could I offer that would be beneficial? And I wrote down do a 3 series part of soul whispers and how you can embody, you know, that energy at this time. Okay. When I did it, my daughter came in here. She stopped me, and a whole bunch of cards ended up falling over. And the card that came up, Spirit was like, "That's it. That's the first one." So, it basically stated the in between. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. Oh, my bad. This is Star with the Star Booms, y'all. But I gave y'all the back of the card. My bad, y'all. Here we go. All right. Ain't it beautiful? Ain't it beautiful? Let's take a second. I don't know. Can I mirror it? I don't be knowing how to make this stuff do, you know. So, but anyways, this is the card. I wanted to read it because so many gems came to me. Okay, so I'm gonna read it. All right. This is called the in between. All right. If you found yourself to be here 132, 133 at this point in period of time, right now, specifically 134, you could have came to this spot just so you could basically get regulated. That's what I heard. I don't know why I didn't want to say it, but yeah, you could have just come here because you're aware of where you're at. You need confirmation and clarity that this is what's occurring and allowing yourself to be seated and still in it. So I'm gonna make this quick, y'all, because I'm doing my baby's hair right now. So it basically says the in between endings hurdle us to the edge of our lives, to the in between. This quiet and uncomfortable place is one we prefer to avoid, and we'd much rather find more familiar ground. It's here that we're no longer where or who we once were, and also not yet where or who will be someday soon. We're in the in between the tomb and the womb. There's often a letting go involved in grief or mourning, a death of self and what once was. This card is one of endings, transitions, and new beginnings. That which was once important to us has changed or is changing. Our relationships, jobs, identities, and ways of being, transitions, change, and rebirth are imminent. But before anything new can come, we must let what has been end properly. It's in the in between that we're in our becoming. And while this can sometimes last longer than we might wish, it's actually a very exciting place to be. The seeds of the future are beginning to take root. And if we're patient, our second harvest will be even more better than the first. It's the fertile void between that, between what was and what will be, that we plant seeds for the future in the dark soil. I want to read that again, y'all, because I want y'all to hear it. It's the fertile void between what was and what will be that we plant seeds for the future in the dark soil. And while it's easy to mistake this period as a stage of growth in which nothing much is happening beneath the surface, things have never been more active. One day soon, a whole new garden will be born. The activation here is it's okay for me to be in the in between. There's no rush. I patiently plant seeds for my becoming. I trust that I won't miss what's for me. So that's what I had when this card fell off. I kept on saying I guess I'm gonna open myself up to, pull energy instead of just sitting in the midst of observing what I had felt basically being projected or what I had felt basically like in the stratosphere, a lot of the times we get in this space of what is FOMO, fear of missing out, right? And we be so afraid of being where we're at based off of what we perceive and where we perceive other people to be, right? This place I feel like is amazing for so many reasons. One, I think it's the power of what a lot of people don't recognize that allows us to activate beyond prayer and recognize how my petition, my prayer, my ask, and excuse me, excuse me, y'all, my ask and my manifestation have now come into being, right? This is a space where you are building your faith, right? And what does that look like? A lot of the times we come into things, we anticipate, we desire, we would like to, like I would like to believe that greater things are available to me. I would like to believe that I have the opportunity that I desire to have at this time. However, I may be at a rate to where my faith has never been tested. I may be at a rate to where I've never actually had to really, really surrender or sacrifice. I may be at a rate to where I don't know the difference between holding on and releasing and letting go. And in this in between state, whether you've been pushed, because sometimes, y'all, we don't recognize this always, right? Sometimes everyone isn't always pushed or catapulted into a space. Sometimes it be a single decision that is made, and it literally sometimes we aren't always walking into the transition. That's what I wanted to say. Sometimes we are pushed and we're catapulted into a space. And when that occurs, a lot of the times we don't always take account for it because everybody's on a different pathway, right? So if I come into your vortex, I come into your vortex, you may be in a transition to where you've made a decision. And because you've made a decision, you are basically at this rate within oneself where you've decided for self, and because of this decision there's now a trajectory of things that are happening, but yet in the midst of that, there, like I said, a proper ending to one thing for you to be able to get to the other thing, but there's still space to go there. And the reason why there's still space is because there's some reconstructing that has to take place. Then you may come into contact, even in the same space, where one person may have made a decision and they've already made their decision. This is where they're at, they've decided, and this is how they're moving. You may come into the midst of somebody else's decision, and you may also be at a rate within yourself. However, because of the connection, because of um, whatever chain of events occur, you may be pushed into a rate. Sometimes this could be someone transitioning. Sometimes this could be a relationship coming to an end. You ending a job, you stopping a career, you choosing to go into new investments and adventures. You choosing to basically not commit to certain investments and adventures. You going, these things create spaces and rates for us that also may place us at what a lot of people like to call standstill, but it's not standstill. It's really, really that's hilarious. They saying that it's really like death at a funeral. You know, the death has occurred, but yet there's something else that still must go, and there's also a release that still must be made. I believe what this looks like is decluttering. I believe what this looks like is purging. I believe what this looks like is planting the good seeds that you actually can pour into, getting beyond the rate of not allowing yourself to be grounded and learning how to be in your body, recognizing that beyond the temptations that you may have or the desire that you may have to be able to be at this new rate, making these new decisions, there are some things that still need to be set in place because who it is that you will be isn't who you've been. And coming away from that to be in the space of becoming, you still have to be steady in the present so you could be. And we shouldn't want to force or make ourselves 9/11, make ourselves be at a new rate when we're not ready yet. You know, you don't know all the pieces, y'all. I would say maybe 6 or 7 months I made a decision, right? And because I had made the decision and I was in the processes of this decision, I decided that I could just go ahead as if the decision was already finalized and everything was set. And what happened was is I got catapulted into what I believe was yet another lesson, and spirit convinced me and convicted me that no, that's not it. This is a building of your faith. This is for you to see not only what will be, but it's for you to recognize that in the midst of you being and becoming, you can't fast forward and you have to allow yourself to be steady. Okay, don't look at this bad way.